what is going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Small Town Horror with Johnny and Randy. This is episode 123.
Is it really?
Yes.
Holy cow!
And we just want to say we appreciate you guys and gals checking us out. And this month of January has been devoted to the one and only Kevin Bacon.
The Bacon Man.
Yes.
We should have named this the Wendy's month.
The Wendy's month. There
because this is a dose of Baconator.
Baconator, man. And Randy, how you liking it so far?
I love Kevin Bacon, man.
I wish we hadn't already done Tremors.
I know, dude.
I've seen where somebody put on our YouTube channel something about they hope we do Tremors, or they'd love to see us do Tremors, something like that. And I'm like, oh, it's in the archives, but we didn't do a YouTube channel on it.
Maybe we should do.
Maybe, I don't know.
Eventually, we're gonna do some kind of rankings video. Tremors is gonna be in there.
Yeah.
So I would say we could do 2, but he's not into. He's just
2 is really good though.
Yeah, 2 is really good.
2 is one of those sequels that I feel like didn't disappoint to where you're like, oh man. Now some of the other ones, trash.
I honestly don't ever say that. I don't even think I've seen 3.
Well, you know there's like 7 of them. Now,
yeah,
right?
I know. They go to outer space. One of them is in like Pluto or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird.
Well, we're not here to talk about Tremors. We're here to talk about Stir of Echoes. And they didn't even do the right version in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot about that. But I will go on record and say this movie is not a horror movie. What does it categorize as?
It's more of,
I feel like it's a mystery crime.
Like a psychological, it says supernatural horror. And if you take that into consideration, the supernatural aspect of it, yeah, it's supernatural horror. It's more of a mystery, thriller. IMDb's got it listed as supernatural horror, mystery, and thriller.
What does Google have it as?
What does the Giggle have it as? Well, when the Giggle starts to work, horror, mystery.
I see.
I mean, there are some aspects of this movie that could be horror-ish.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more just mystery. And what else did we say?
Well, you're just used to like people getting their insides on their outsides.
Well, even back when this came out, 99?
Yep.
It still wasn't scary to me. It was more of like a thriller, I guess you could say.
The scariest parts for me of this one are the flashbacks you get of Samantha. And it's when I was a kid. When I was a kid, not now, obviously, but when I was a kid, the scariest moments of this were the flashbacks you got of her face.
Mm-hmm.
When he's in there and then the room goes cold, his house.
Yeah.
And it goes to the has all the plastic up, and then she's at the door, and then she does that static walk.
Yeah.
That freaked me out. And then of course, she hits her face on the floor, and then the nail.
And that's what cracks me up. So many people's like the nail scene. I've never been bothered by the nails in any movie. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, when Leatherface is dragging the guy down the basement. I mean, it's just one of the things that don't get me, I guess.
It's like on House of Wax when old chick gets her
Achilles
cut. It's just like On
House of Wax, remember when the girl? Have you seen the remake? When the girl's sticking her hand up, she's trying to wiggle her finger to get somebody to sign. Like she's trying to signal somebody.
Yeah.
And the guy pulls a pair of like wire cutters out, and he goes over there and he's like he's tying a shoe, and he just pops her finger off. Have you not seen that?
I don't know if I've seen that.
We'll have to review that.
We're fast forwarding through the Achilles.
That one don't have an Achilles.
Okay, then I haven't seen it.
Okay, I don't think it does, but anyway, here it is. I mean, this film came out in 1999, and I still feel like this is a really underrated movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't hear enough love and enough talk about. Like, we said the same thing about Hollow Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't never hear anybody talk about Hollow Man, and I very rarely hear anybody talk about Stir of Echoes.
Well, it's kind of one of those movies that's like we were talking about trying to find a way to watch it, and I didn't know you had it on Blu-ray. We weren't sure. And it was like, yeah, it's on Tubi, and it's on like this free stuff, so you can probably watch it free with ads and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't get enough love, and it should. My only thing, and this is going to be kind of weird for me to say, I feel like this movie probably could have been another 30 minutes longer. I feel like they could have put up some more backstory in it before, because they really jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no down moments.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the movie before they really start getting into the deep aspects of what the movie's about.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't give you any ramp up or any backstory. That might be one of my only
Negatives
for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever said a movie could have been longer.
See, and I feel like it was the perfect amount of time.
Like I'm not mad with
No.
it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, it was good, but then it's like you could have given some backstory or something.
Yeah. The backstory, man.
And then the backstory comes up later on in the movie. Maybe that's why they just didn't do it at the beginning.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Well, why don't you read us the cast, man? I mean, not the cast. I'm sorry, the summary.
Man, I got the summary right here. A man is hypnotized at a party by his sister-in-law. He soon has visions and dreams of a ghost of a girl. Trying to avoid this nearly pushes him to the brink of insanity as the ghost wants something from him to find out how she died. The only way he can get his life back is by finding out the truth behind her death. The more he digs, the more he lets her in. The shocking truth behind her death puts his whole family in danger.
It's not a bad summary.
You know what the first one was?
No.
A man has visions of a missing neighborhood girl.
Well, I mean,
technically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't no lie, man.
No, it's not a lie, but yeah. That was, yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Well, this film came out in 1999. It is rated R and is categorized as horror mystery, and it is 1 hour and 39 minutes long.
Horror mystery.
IMDb gave it a 6.9 out of a 10, and Rotten Tomatoes scored it a 68%.
Holy cow, they're like right there.
Yeah, they're not off. Like
0.1 points. That's weird.
So go ahead and hit us with the cast, man.
So we've got the Baconator. We got Mr. Kevin Bacon himself as Tom Witzke. I don't know. They've only said his name like once or twice. Zachary David Cope plays his son Jake. Catherine Erb plays Maggie, his wife. Ilian Douglas plays Lisa Will. Jennifer Morrison is Samantha Kozik, who you guys might know. She was Allison on House. We have Kevin Dunn, Frank McCarthy, which great actor.
Yes.
Really good actor. Lisa Well is Debbie Kozik. Lisa Well, sorry. Lucia Struss is Sheila McCarthy. And really the next one is Eddie Bo Smith Jr. is the cop Neil.
All right, so now let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes
of taters.
This film.
I am meat and taters.
So I guess we're going to go ahead and continue with the pull-in scale. The first.
The pull-in scale?
Yeah, the pull-in scale.
The pull-in scale?
The pull-in scale.
Do it.
I did the pull-in scale.
Pull-in
scale.
Where?
Right here. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first, buddy?
I'll let you go first.
All right.
I went first last time.
So, I will say after all these years, I still enjoy this film. Like me and Randy said, I feel like it's an underrated film. It doesn't get as much love as it should. I think the acting is really good in this film. I think the casting's good. Kevin Bacon does a great job in the movie. With a lot of the physical acting that he has to do in this movie, he really set the tone. He really showed his acting skills as far as facial looks and everything. Let's see. I even think the son, and I'm normally not impressed by a child's acting, to be honest with you, but I really think even his young son in this movie did a good job. For him being that age, I thought he did really good. As far as like music didn't stand out to me. No camera shots really standed out to me. To me, this was just a simple film, if that makes any kind of sense. Nothing really caught my eye to make me go, oh, that's pretty neat, or, oh, that shot was good, or, oh, the music's creepy. I just think it was a simple, classic mystery film, a crime film. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't knock any points off or nothing. If I had to say anything negative about the film, I'm not a fan of language. And There's a few spots in there where they want to throw some GDs around and stuff, and I'm just like, that's always one of them situations where I'm like, man, this movie's got a little bit of language.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought it was, because I remember watching this with my mom. My mom's like, oh, it cusses way too much.
Well, the thing about this movie is like it throws a bunch of language into a small sample, and it's just like they're throwing it in there.
Mm-hmm. But on the pulling scale, I'm gonna have to say thumbs up. I can watch this film. Not over and over and over, but I can watch this film. This is one of them movies that I could watch once a year, or if somebody has never seen the film, hey, let's watch it. I do have it in my collection. So thumbs up. I do recommend you to add it to your collection, and I will give this movie I'm gonna give this movie a solid B+. And it is because of the acting was so great in this movie, and I feel that there's no down parts in this movie.
No, yeah, there's really not. So maybe I should have went first. Now I'm gonna copy.
Here we go.
Yeah. So me and Johnny had talked about this movie once before it was requested, and that's because aside from like Tremors and his acting in A Few Good Men, this is one of my like go-to, and Hollow Man.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my go-to movies when somebody talks about Kevin Bacon, and it is because his acting in this movie is like different than the movies than you get off of like Footloose and Hollow Man and Tremors and A Few Good Men. It's different kind of acting. He's more of an emotional actor in this one. Yeah. And he does an awesome job. And I think everyone in the movie does a great job as far as acting goes.
Yeah.
I know I kind of said that it could have been longer.
Mm-hmm.
I really think what I should have said is, had it been longer, it wouldn't have bothered me.
I got you.
With as much as that they put in. If they added an extra 20 minutes on it and it was like build up or backstory or something like that,
yeah,
it wouldn't have bugged me. But as far as the movie goes, what I like so much about it is it kicks it off from the get-go and it keeps you interested in it through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's never a down part in the whole movie because something's always going on. So, and like camera shots didn't stand out to me, but there were scenes that stood out to me.
Right.
And a lot of them were the flashbacks to Samantha. Whenever he goes hypnotized and then all of a sudden he's starting to flashback and he sees the front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And how they did that like dreamy look where the screen was black around it and then it was like tunnel vision, but it was blurry, so you couldn't really see it, but you knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And then the scene closer to the end of the movie where he's in the house and everything goes cold and he gets into the like an old version of his house and she's standing in the doorway. She turns around and she does that little static, like,
yeah.
I almost want to call it like the Silent Hill nurse walk because that's what it looks like.
I kind of think of The Ring.
Yeah, like yeah. But I mean, to me, that was creepy.
Yeah.
Still to this day, it's creepy. And the thing about it is, though, they don't really make her look dead. You know what I mean?
As you just said, you feel like it was creepy. In my head, I was like, yeah, but she doesn't look creepy.
She doesn't, because it literally looks just like she's painted bluish.
Yeah.
She looks... Okay, so she looks dead in that aspect of it, but not what you would expect dead to look like. You know what I mean? The thing about it is, though, it shows her ghost with the missing tooth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it really ever shows her hand to show the nail.
Right.
But she doesn't look like you would assume a dead ghost would look like. And usually when movies do a flashback to a ghost, it's just the person as they were.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how they died and all this kind of stuff. But the build-up through the whole movie, you know where it's kind of going. If you've ever watched a horror movie where ghosts pop up and try to talk to people, Sixth Sense is like prime example.
Yeah.
The ghost obviously wanted something, and it wanted him to find out how or where she died.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, this is one of my top Kevin Bacon movies. And I always forget some of the people that are in it. Her sister, Maggie's sister.
Yeah.
I can't see her without thinking, and it's not the only thing she's ever been in I've ever seen her in, but from she really reminds me of her part in A Few Good Men. Not A Few Good Men, Goodfellas, when she played one of the mobsters' wives.
Yeah.
It's just the way she acted. So yeah, the music didn't stick out to me either. Just a one little lick from
Painted Black.
Painted Black. Yeah, just that one little lick is. Every time I hear that song now, though, I think of this movie.
I think of Twisted Metal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Definitely recommend you to watch it. This is one of those movies like you was talking about, not necessarily once a year, but this is one of those movies that I could say, you've never seen this movie, you got an hour and a half, let's watch it. I could sit down and watch this movie. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Definitely recommend you to watch it. Add it to your collection if you're a collector, and I am also gonna give it a B+.
Right on.
That's why I should have went first.
Why?
Because if this is copy.
We
We need to start writing these down, so we were like, okay, I'm going first.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Well, now that we got the pulling scale out of the way, I will say, like, as far as talking about the film a little more, I could not live in this neighborhood. That's one thing that's bothered me ever since I seen this back in 1999.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, block parties all the time.
Yeah, ain't no way, because I'm not a people person at all.
Hate on people.
And when Kevin Bacon, when his character is walking to the football game,
it's what it looked like.
And they're all walking together, and that dude's just talking his head off, and you can tell Kevin Bacon's got a lot on his mind. That is me.
Yeah.
That's flat out me. Even if I just go to Walmart and there's a lot of people there, like I'm sitting there like, oh. If it's not a horror convention, then I freak out. Like if I don't know, it's just one of those things where I can go to conventions all day long and have a blast.
You should see him waiting at McDonald's trying to pick up a DoorDash order.
Ugh. But every time I've watched this movie, I'm like, man, I don't like the neighborhood scenes, and it's because of me. Like I'm just like, I couldn't live there.
But see,
and then the dude's always like, it's this has been a decent neighborhood. I'm like, you care way too much about your neighborhood.
But see, for me, that goes to show you what it was like in the 90s, because it was really like that in the 90s. It's not like that anymore.
Well, no, because freaking everybody's got guns now, and they want to
exactly.
act out, and you can't say anything without offending somebody. And
but that's what people did back then. You know, it was like a group of people in the neighborhood became friends and got together at people's houses on a Friday night and stuff like that.
We were doing that crap in 2020.
Oh yeah, but we weren't block partying it.
That's because I don't like enough people to do a block party.
You don't people.
No, I don't.
And my wife won't let enough people at the house.
Randy can be like, hey man, you and your wife want to come over for supper? We're thinking about having a couple more. I'm like,
He'd be like, it's just you two? Yeah. 3 other people?
Yeah, if you say 4, I'm definitely out. But yeah, the block party thing always it made me laugh, but you are right. That's kind of what the 90s was, is we didn't have cell phones to be able to keep our face in all day long. You did make friends and go out and do stuff. I mean, our thing here in Kennett was getting in your vehicle and riding around town. Mm-hmm. This small little town, just making loops.
Back when gas was 98 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
But what's funny about it is when they do go to the party where everybody's drinking, he's meeting everybody. He's actually carrying the baby monitor with him. Yeah, he left the kid at home.
Yeah,
and just goes to show you what time how the time was back then.
Mm-hmm.
That was normal. Just right down the street, he was able to take his baby monitor with him, let the kid sleep.
Yeah,
he was good to go, which I thought was funny because he was walking around with booze in one hand and a baby monitor in the other.
Yeah, he's got his priorities, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say I did like the scene with the babysitter.
That was a very intense feeling.
Yeah,
for her to go through something like that.
Yeah, because I've seen this movie I don't know how many times, but it's been a while. Yeah. I mean, it's been some years since I've watched it. And when she come over, I was like, I remember her coming over to babysit, but I don't know why. What's the reason?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I think, to me, that's one of the creepier scenes is when she's listening to the baby monitor and you can hear him go, you scared me.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know. I haven't seen her yet. Like that would trip me out if I was
Yeah.
babysitting a kid.
And just imagine what she would have been going through knowing after he said Samantha and she was like, you talked to Samantha. Like, just imagine the thoughts that were running through her head. No wonder she grabbed the kid up.
That's what I was fixing to say. You can't get mad at her. And I like the fact that Kevin Bacon, his character in the movie, was like, they were like, do you want to press charges? He's like, no. Because, you know, he knows what the thing, she's trying to find her sister just like they're trying to figure out the mystery, you know? But, yeah, even like, I like the little details to where when he comes down the stairs after he wakes up and his buddy's sitting there and he's standing there in the living room and he's like, they were going to kill you and Maggie, and just walked off. And then he's sitting on the porch, the steps. It makes you feel like that's really happening.
Yeah.
I like that. And then I love that when he wakes up and, you know, he relives it. He's like, he looks at the couch because he's fixed to put his boot on. He's like, please don't be underneath there. And his boot's there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But I like how they did. They had two premonitions in one moment.
Yeah.
But only one of them came true at a time.
Yeah.
So he like woke up, found the boot, went downstairs. Frank was there. He walked outside, went down. Kid shot himself. Well, in reality, he came downstairs. Frank wasn't there. And he just started walking towards the house, and then the gunshot went off.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, after all is said and done, and Frank shoots the other two guys, is when Frank said they were going to kill you and Maggie, your whole family, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. Because it was almost like every premonition through the whole movie came true, except for that one premonition. And then it actually came true just at two different times.
And to me, possibly the best part as far as acting is I love when, what's Kevin Bacon's character's name in this?
Tom.
I love when Tom gets Frank down in the basement and he's telling him everything, and he was like, Frank's trying to deny it to where he's like, what are you going to tell the police? They're going to think you're crazy. Yeah. It's the way Tom delivers the line where he's like, Frank, she's got some hair in her hands.
Yeah.
And he just kind of hesitates. He's like, they're going to be able to tell from that. He doesn't want to break the news. But that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Kevin Bacon's acting is so good to where he acts nuts because he's hypnotized and he's got to dig and he's all this. But then when he finally finds the body, he's got sympathy.
And what's crazy about it is he seems exhausted.
Yeah.
At the like closer to the end of the movie during that scene when he walks down, and I don't know if it's just the way he talks, but you feel relief because he knows it's finally done. And it literally feels like he's completely drained.
Yeah.
And like he's just there.
Right.
I mean, in all the digging he's done, I guess it would make sense that he would be tired. But yeah, it's just another aspect of him being a good emotional actor.
Yeah.
It's crazy just to look at him doing acting in this movie and then watch the action that he does in like Tremors or something like that. Because this is close to, what did this come out like 4 years after Tremors?
When did Tremors come out?
35 years ago. So
it came out 90.
Yeah. 90.
1990.
Yeah. So it came out like 19.
Dang.
That's crazy. We're getting old.
Did you know?
No.
And you can look up the trailer on YouTube. Did you know he came back to reprise his role as Val?
Really?
Look on YouTube. They filmed a whole season and the TV series was called Tremors.
Oh.
Yeah, and before it ever aired, it got canceled. But he did a whole season, and this was just, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. But they have the trailer on YouTube. You can look it up, and it looked like it was going to be good. He went back to his hometown and everything. He wore the cowboy hat, all that stuff.
And now they'll never be able to do it because Earl's dead.
I know, but they missed an opportunity.
They did.
But absolutely. I'm surprised it got canceled because they still make the crappy Tremor movies.
Yeah, that's probably why it was like, well, we're just gonna keep throwing out these crappy ones, and
yeah,
everything's going to series, so I don't know why they didn't do it.
Right. Yeah. You got any more to share on this movie?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think we covered pretty much everything there is to cover on it. But yeah, that's our review of Stir of Echoes. I know we have next month is February, and we're going to see, what is the film
I
called?
think it's called Heart Eyes.
Heart Eyes. It's a new slasher Valentine's Day movie,
Looks
and
pretty legit.
I don't know what else we're gonna review yet. We're still kind of
Mystery.
yeah, but be looking forward to those. And I got a feeling here for too long we're gonna start releasing some of the YouTube only episodes.
Exclusives.
Yeah, so that'll be coming soon. We're still doing our horror mystery box giveaway, so you have until February 1st to get entered in. All you have to do is give us a follow on our YouTube channel and on any of our social media. TikTok. I said TikTok.
TikTok. I forgot because it was gone and now it's back.
Yeah. Instagram is Small Town Horror Johnny_Randy, or Facebook Small Town Horror with Johnny and Randy. If you get on any three of those, we have a post that we've already made with the mystery box. All you got to do is share that and tag 3 friends. And we have had some contenders so far, so that's a good deal.
Don't forget, you guys can catch us anywhere you can get your podcast: Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, anywhere.
Download us on iTunes.
Anywhere.
And
leave us some comments. Leave us some ratings.
Yes.
You like it? You don't like it? Let us know.
Whatever you listen to us on, leave us, if you feel like we deserve a 5-star rating, please leave us a 5-star rating and leave us a comment. Let us know, what you like about the episode, what you don't, what you like about the podcast, what you don't, whatever you want to do. But anyway, with that being said, we will catch you guys in February. So as always, remember to stay scared,
stay spooky.